Hello YouTube, Tammy is a yarn crafter here with the few FOs I've got for this week. Start off with, I know in Wednesday's whip where I was showing you the dragon bag I've started and the fact I wasn't sure which hook I was using and I thought I maybe used the hook for my corner to corner blanket that I'm making on another project but couldn't remember what. Well, I think, which I could be wrong though, I think I used it on this little ladybug. And there's the belly. I think I used it on the belly part and then the red part for the top of the ladybug. I think I used my 5mm crochet hook for. Now, it's not the prettiest little ladybug, I will admit. But you can kind of see him. He'd make a good little pin cushion, I think. It's a little too big, I think, to put on a keychain. But I think a little pin cushion would be really cute. So I made that. And then I made my third entry for Erin's Creator Spotlight. And I made this really cute bag. I'll start at the top of the handles. Now, I did a little bit of my own color work on it just because I knew I only had so much of the blue and I didn't want to run out. So now I think next time I got to do handles, I'm going to do mine a little differently. And I'll explain that in a moment to you. It's a really cute little bag. It's huge. It's supposed to be a market bag. I myself would use this as like a beach bag because it is pretty holey, or you could use it as a bigger project bag as long as you got a notions pouch of some kind. But what I would do differently on the handles was because once you got to a certain point, you're supposed to chain so many, skip so many, and then rejoin. I think I would eliminate the chain because I find it's a little tight and I don't like it. I would probably do a single crochet foundation where instead of doing the chain then a single crochet row, just do the single crochet foundation row, and it would give it more of a stretch, which then would kind of, even out with the top part of the handle, and it wouldn't be so tight at the bottom. But it is cute. Now, I do know when I started making this, and it was within the bottom few rows of the white. I don't know how well you guys can see the pattern, and I hope you guys can see it. It's really cute. I was reading the instructions, and I think it was the third row. It had to be the third row of white, or round of white. And all of a sudden it was telling me to put a stitch in this chain space that I didn't have. I didn't make it the round before. So I had to go back and read the instructions for the previous round, so round 2 of the body of the bag. And I'm just glad there was a video to go with this to follow because the written instructions, there are a few mistakes in it. But once you got it packed, and like even when you did the third set of the pattern, because there's 3 sets in total, once you got to the third set, then you pretty much know what you're doing. So when it came to that mistake in the written instructions, it was pretty easy to know, okay, no, I've got to do this on this round. But it turned out really cute. It's probably going to be a bag I think I'm going to keep for myself. I haven't decided yet, but I like it. Yes, I do my bags with worsted weight yarn. I know technically you should actually use like a more sturdier yarn, like a cotton, but I'm fine with using worsted weight yarn. Doesn't bother me. It's not being lined. That one's not being lined because it's very holey, and I don't really have a lining that I think would be suitable for said bag. But I do think it'd be a good bag for like if you're doing a big blanket of some kind. And then the third project I made, did not intend to make it originally, and then came across it on Facebook for one of the groups I participate in. And there's a pattern every day for the month of March. And I came across this little hat. And I think it's adorable. I love it. I love the texture on it. Now what I did differently on my hat, first off, you could either end on, like when it goes from crown down, because it go up to round 6 or round 7. Now I use the 4.5 Burnett Super Value yarn, and I stopped on round 6, which technically was the small adult size, and then I did, I think, one less round of the body of the hat. And then at the bottom where I got my brim here, which I just did 3 rows of singles, was supposed to be, you did a chain, I think I want to say 7, and then you single crocheted back, and then you did like a double a slip stitch 2 together, and then you went back up the back loops of that previous round of single crochets, and then back up, and it would have given me close to 1.5 inch brim. And like, as you can see, this is very loose on me now as it is. Like, I can literally go like this and say, see you later, bye, kind of thing. I was kind of hoping that doing the singles would have tightened it up, but not enough really. So it's on the larger side, but I think it's a cute hat. I like the texture. I think if I were to make this again with this type of yarn, I would still do the same size, like stop after round 6 and stop 1 round short of the body, but I would probably go down to a 3.5 or a 4 crochet hook. So those are my whips for the week. Now I'm gonna yap at you guys for a moment if you don't mind sitting around listening. I hope you guys got to go out and see the blood moon that we had last night. The eclipse. I did. My husband and I, we took our son to work. I brought my tablet with me because I want to see, because I've never really done recording with my tablet. And so we took my son to work, which him and my husband both work up at the airport, which is pretty much just on the outskirts of the city kind of thing. Like literally within a minute, you're out in pure darkness kind of area. So it's awesome. But from the airport where they work, the building they work at, to the gas station, it's about a 2-minute drive. So we drove there. I grabbed the tea from Timmy's. And then we headed off to the actual country. Went up a couple roads, parked the truck, got out of the truck, literally stood at the front of the truck and looked straight up almost, and there was the moon. And we got there about 2:15. And I know the full eclipse was supposed to be at 2:30-ish. Well, my tablet didn't last long. Like, I knew the battery was low on it. But I thought, well, let's see if I can record anyhow. And we had a farm in behind us up the one street. I don't know if it was the dog was barking due to us being on that other side road and that they could hear the truck running, or if it was reacting to the eclipse, because I do know some animals do not do well with eclipses, like solar or lunar eclipse. So I had the dog barking in the background of the video a few times, and I had my tablet zoomed in to magnifying as close as it could get. Yeah, me looking at it with my bare eyeballs, the moon was closer. So I scratched the video. We just sat in the truck with the heat and kind of watched out the window. And I don't think it did 100% coverage either. We had a very small slither here in Southern Ontario that was not covered. And it didn't get as bright red as I'd hoped for. It got more of the rusty orangish brown color. But it was still cool to see. Now, another little story for you guys. My husband, my son, and I moved into this apartment back in the spring of 2012. So yes, we've been here a while, almost 13 years actually. Well, in our city, we live what they call the lower part of the city, and the upper part is along to the escarpment, which is a huge mountain. Like, it's like one end of the city to the other and beyond. It's huge. And all the upper was farmer fields. Now this is going way back. And for the farmers to come down to the lower city or down into the city itself to do like shopping and things, they had to take a trolley. Like, they'd go to the top to where the trolleys were, buy their little ticket, get on the thing, come straight down on the trolley, do what little shopping they could, and get back on the trolley and go back up the mountain. That was the only way to get from the top to, like, from above and below. Well, since then, many years later, they've built roads for us vehicles to drive on. And where we live And where the one grocery store that was open 24/7, the escarpment access we would take was 3 lanes up, 3 lanes down. So it's a 6-lane highway, more or less. And it was a good length. Well, the one time my husband got home from work, and I met him down in the parking lot saying, we got to go back out. Our son needs a few things for lunch tomorrow for school. Husband's like, no problem, let's go. My husband and I don't have cell phones. I know I've said this in the past. I know it's hard to believe. We don't have cell phones. I barely use my landline, so why am I going to pay even more for a cell phone the way I look at it? Anyways, I had a digital camera at that time of my life, but did not have it with me because I don't normally carry it with me. So we started going up this escarpment, which was the 3 lanes up, 3 lanes down. It's the widest one we have out of all our escarpments. The other two, all the other ones are either 1 lane each way or 2 lanes each way. This is the widest one we have. As we're driving up it, there was this big red moon. I mean, this thing was huge. It was very low to the ground. It was a full moon, and it was just like, oh my, I don't know if this was a harvest moon of some kind or what exactly it was, because we didn't hear nothing about any eclipse going on that night. I had asked my husband to go, when we got to the top, turn around, come back down the escarpment, go to our place, which is only like, minute drive from the escarpment to go up, for me to come in, grab my camera, and go back up. But I thought, no, he just got off work. I don't want to push it. So we get up the escarpment. Of course, the whole time I'm watching out all the windows at this moon, thinking, oh my goodness, this is huge. And we're heading towards the grocery store that's 24/7. And in that same parking lot right beside the grocery store is my bank, which is TD. And then also in that parking lot, there's a Tim Hortons Wendy's store. I believe it was Tim Hortons and Wendy's, or it was just Tim Hortons. Maybe only been Tim Hortons, actually. So anyways, as we're getting closer and closer to the grocery store, the moon's still staying where we can see it set out the windshield of the vehicle. I'm like, oh my goodness, this has got to be over by the grocery store. Now, the grocery store I went to was a good-sized box store, grocery store, about 2 stories high. Right beside it was just my itty-bitty tiny 1-story bank. So we get there, we park in the parking lot, and instead of going straight into the grocery store, I veered to the left, and I'm standing there looking at my bank. Mouth gapped open. Finally, my husband came over, and the moon was sitting right on top of my bank. There was a tiny little sliver between the moon and the roof of the bank. And it was like, I think had the moon been like maybe a foot closer to me, it came down, it would have hit the bank. It would have covered the bank. It was huge. And I'm sitting there thinking, now I wish I'd gone back and got my camera. But unfortunately, it was a once in a lifetime, had to be there to see it kind of thing, or let's see the proof. And unfortunately, I don't got the proof. But oh my goodness, it was amazing. So for some of you who maybe saw the solar eclipse or lunar eclipse last night, hopefully you just got that great experience, because those are definitely very neat to see. I know when we had the eclipse last year, I got a good video on it, and it turned out good on my tablet. But nighttime recording on my tablet, you pretty much need a digital camera with the telescopical lens that you can attach to it to get these kind of shots. But my husband and I got to experience it anyways. And like I said, I know for us, it started about 5 after 10 after 1 a.m. Eastern time. And it went till, I believe it was supposed to go till like 3:30 Eastern, like a.m. So I don't know how long it did go till, because I didn't stay up and sit outside here at home to watch it. But like I said, I don't think we got full eclipse, but it was darn close. And unfortunately, the moon wasn't that. Had the moon been maybe half the distance away, I think I would have got a good shot of it on the tablet. So unfortunately, no video for you guys for that. I was hoping to put a little clip up, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out for me. And like I said, I hope you guys got to enjoy it. And that's all I gotta say for that. So yeah, those were my finished objects. Either today or tomorrow, I will hopefully be knowing the color for the corner blanket I'm working on. And hopefully that will be an FO for next Friday. And I don't think it'll be a whip on Wednesday. I'm planning to hopefully have it done this weekend. Then I've got my dragon bag that I'm working on. I just started the other day to do some more work on it. And then I've got a pair of socks here that, like I said, I cast it on. I did the toe cast on that I use, and one round of stitching, and that's as far as they've gotten. They're just a sitting in the background type of project. Sophie's, I still haven't touched her at all, just because I was getting these items done. And I've got to figure out what I did with my head to toe winter knits book. I have misplaced it. I'm wondering if it fell down here in this gap between the corner table and space of my couch and love seat, and possibly maybe got somehow slid under one of my pieces of furniture. So I have a funny feeling I'm going to be doing some moving the furniture from the walls and cleaning underneath them, because I don't know where that book went. Either it's under one of these pieces of furniture, because there's also a good possibility this other end of my love seat. It could have fallen down there. I've lost items down there in the past and gone nuts looking for it. Or I took it. No, I couldn't see me taking it to the trailer because the project's been picked, but I haven't picked out the yarn yet, and I gotta find the book so I can do that. So my head to toe winter knits is still on hold. I'm sorry about that, guys. I know some of you did participate and vote on my project, and I do promise I will get back to it. When? I don't know. So anyways, guys, have a great weekend. I don't know if hubby and I are going to the camper this weekend, if we're staying home. If we're staying home, I may do a pop-up of some kind on Saturday or Sunday. You never know. But have a good day, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.